Hey, how's it going, everyone? And welcome to episode 2 of Wrestless Radio. This is a brand new podcast diving headfirst into the wacky and wonderful world of professional wrestling. I am your host and longtime wrestling fan, Julian, the contraceptive concilio. Take one before intercourse. And joining me on this log flume adventure ride, and as the overall clueless perspective in this equation, the smoking hot smoker himself, Scott Nananovich. Scott, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Julian.
Scott, it's fucking hot.
Oh yeah, we pick the absolute worst days to record these podcasts. I'm like, you know what's the weather? Oh yeah, it's gonna be 40 degrees Celsius, and I guess for you Americans that'd be about 80 Fahrenheit, I think.
That's a good conversion.
Yeah.
We have some snags cooking on the concrete outside. Those will be done in a bit, so that's a good lunch. Do you possess the testicular fortitude to learn about some promos here today?
I think I do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is your genetic jackhammer ready?
Oh yeah. You're ready for action.
Have you heard of the term promo before, by the way?
Well, I mean, promo is short for promotional, right?
Yeah, I mean, promo is used in a lot of different mediums, that word.
I mean, my guess for what a promo in sense of wrestling would be like an advertisement for a specific event or a match.
Yeah.
But I mean, last week I wasn't sure what to think, and I've been pondering on this a little bit. Yeah. So Julian and I studied advertising, and one of the things that's very important when you're creating an ad, or in this case a promo, is your target audience. So I don't know that much about the audience of wrestling, but from my understanding, I don't like a bit like an audience that really likes violence.
Yeah.
How, like, what kind of ad will go towards them will be appealing towards them. Me as someone who isn't violent, I don't know. I don't know what to expect here.
No, that's fair enough. Like, this is all brand new to you. And in terms, like, the short kind of explanation for a promo is essentially a self-promotion, essentially in wrestling. And the reason I wanted to do an episode specifically on promos is because I think it's probably the second most important thing in wrestling. Mm-hmm. The ability to talk in wrestling is quite important.
Yeah.
Not always important. Like, some cases, people can get by without having the confidence to be able to speak to an audience of, 10,000 people. Mm-hmm. That's a hell of a fucking thing to do. Yeah. And to do that weekly,
Okay, so the wrestlers are selling themselves or their matches?
Kind of selling the character. Also, you're promoting a storyline or a match. You're kind of furthering storyline. So
okay.
There's a lot of different scenarios a promo can take place in.
Yeah.
Promos also take many forms. They can either be inside the ring where they're just talking with a microphone, they're directing their attention to the audience, or they might be backstage and interviewers interviewing them to get their thoughts on something. That can be considered a promo as well. Mm-hmm. There's also pre-recorded ones where you can have just the wrestler talking directly to the camera, and they're talking to the audience, and they're talking to whoever they're directing their promo at, so an opponent or something like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of different factors in terms of promos. Mm-hmm. So the reason I specifically also wanted to show you promos was because it also gets across characters.
Yeah.
The biggest thing in wrestling is characters. If you don't have characters, nobody would have been a wrestling fan.
Yeah, okay.
That's like, the term often used is larger than life.
Yeah.
It's a great term because I think with wrestling, it's very much, there's nothing subtle about it.
Yeah.
Everything is blown up to massive proportions.
Okay.
And a lot of people's characters are these wacky and weird things that would not be in real life. Like, these people would not exist in today's society because it's just too weird.
So it's not just, well, obviously from hearing what you're saying, it's not so much about the violence aspect of it. It's the crazy zany characters
it's
as well.
It's the performance of it as well, because you want to get across your personality, your charisma, You want to be able to engage with an audience, and one way for a good audience to be engaged by you is to actually talk to them.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Without the talking, you're just like a nameless, soulless douchebag to me, because I don't know who you are. You haven't told me who you are. You haven't done anything other than do a really cool suplex.
Yeah.
You know, I can't get invested in that person. So kind of the death knell for promos is no reaction. If you get no reaction in a promo, it's considered kind of a bad thing. You want to get some sort of audience reaction to what you're saying.
Okay.
Because if they're sitting on their hands and they're bored out of their minds, they're not going to get engaged.
So they're essentially trying to rile up the crowd.
Yes, depending on what perspective they're delivering a promo from. So this could be you're either a babyface, like we talked about last week, and you're a good guy, and you're being kind of pandering towards the audience, but in a nice way. You're essentially a nice guy or a nice woman. And with a heel, being a bad guy, you're obviously going to insult the audience. You're not going to take shit from them. You know?
Yeah.
And so it's trying to rile them up and trying to, feeding
Make
into
them
that,
hate you more.
feeding into that abuse.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it. I think that's also why a lot of people consider heels more interesting than baby faces, because baby faces don't always have the most interesting things to say.
Yeah.
A heel often is a lot more creative and has a lot more unique ways in order to get heat.
Yeah.
Basically. Now, the saying I've always associated it with is it's easier for people to hate you than it is to like you.
Yeah.
Go into a party and try and make people like you. It's a really hard thing to do. Get people to hate you, though, that's fucking easy.
Just spit on someone.
Spit on someone, slap them in the face, insult them. You've already got heat. There you go. You could be a wrestler.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
So the promo I'm showing you is from July 3rd, Monday Night Raw. Enzo Amore is the character coming out here to deliver this promo. Kind of a small, scrawny wrestler, but he's got a heart of gold, but he's got a mouth on him, this guy.
Yeah.
So he's a babyface in this scenario. So he's a good guy. And basically, let me set the scene for you. His tag partner turned on him last week. And so he's come out there to run down his former tag partner who betrayed him. And this tag partner used to be his lifelong friend as well.
Shit.
So this is the scenario we're dealing with right now. And so this is, I picked this promo because it was probably one of the best of his career and probably one of the best of the year. It was, this happened last year, 2017.
Yep.
And this was a good example of a fiery babyface promo who's pissed off, who wants to get revenge, who's, had enough of the shit that he's had to deal with, and he wants to have his voice as a rebuttal in order to, basically air his grievances in a way.
Yeah.
See, I know exactly who I am, and I ain't gotta be something that I'm not, all right? And with the WWE Universe as my witness, okay, I have been knocked down, but I get up every time. And you know why? Because I'm a certified G, and I am exactly me. Confidence is something you can't teach people, and that's what I am. I am confident, okay? I am confident in my abilities. I am confident in who I am. And you know what I am? More than anything else, I am grateful. I am grateful. You see, I am one of one. I am a real one. I am Smack Talker Skywalker, and I would push my dad down a wishing well and wish him well before I ever joined the dark side. My father was a good man, and he raised me to be a good man, and for that I'm grateful. I am grateful for every kid out there wearing a certified G shirt. I'm grateful for every kid out there who's wearing a certified G chain. I am grateful for every single kid out there wearing a certified G wig and dancing like me. You know why I'm grateful? Because it helps me put food on the table. It is the reason why every time I get knocked down, I always get back up, because I believe in the good I am doing. I believe in myself. It's a belief, it's a mistake, it's something you just can't teach. As I stand here before you, I am physical proof that my mouth has never dug a hole so deep that I couldn't climb myself back out of it. Because I walk in a room with confidence, and I walk out of the room with confidence. And I can walk it like I talk it, blindfolded, because I know who I am, and I know where I am going. And I am going straight to the top, okay? I'm gonna reach new heights, because I'm catching flights. I'm done catching feelings. And let me tell you, I have climbed out of holes way taller than 7 feet. Cass, you know what you are, my friend? You are nothing more than a 7-foot catchphrase that I wrote. And you prefaced a few weeks ago that I might write checks that my ass can't cash. Well, with the WWE Universe as my witness, there ain't nobody in this business who goes harder bouncing a damn check than Enzo Amore. You said you're where the money's at, my friend. You're where the money's at. Well, just don't be mad and don't be surprised when next quarter that merchandise check comes and it reads 0 dimes. That is unless you start wearing a shirt that says Casshole.
You saw, you slop.
Harsh words from Enzo Amore. We're now on Sunday at Great Walls of Fire pay-per-view event. Looks to back them up. Enzo came out here and spit fire directly at Big Cass. He's not done.
Turn this thing back on. I ain't done. I'm going to tell you why I ain't done, Cass. You know why? Because me and you, my friend, we were brothers, all right? We were brothers. And we will ride or die. And that part of me is now dead. And you know why it's dead? Because it rolled down my face with one gangster tear when you killed it. But that boot that touched my lips, it was like CPR. And all it did was breathe new life. Hence the reason why my Tupac bandana tied, because I am an army of one now, okay? And it is, from now on, me being all that I can be, and all that I can be is just me. It's all eyes on me!
And we're back. Scott, what are your thoughts?
Well, that was completely unexpected from what I imagined a promo would be, being an advertisement.
What were you thinking?
I thought it would be like looking at the camera in a studio,
Okay.
talking about, you know, how you're gonna beat some other guy up. This Saturday coming up, live event. Yeah, that was completely different from what I was expecting. You could tell that there was some kind of scripting or practice in there, but it was like, I could almost describe it as like reading poetry almost.
Yeah.
Like those really weird, like underground clubs, and someone will go up on the stage. It's really
slam poetry.
Yeah, like slam. Or like talking to the mic. Like poetry, it's like rapping. It's
There's a
slow.
bongo drum playing in the background.
Yeah. And they, you know, they say a line and the audience is like, yeah, and starts cheering. That's exactly what a promo is. I guess that's the parallels I could see.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it? I think that's one thing I want to know. Did you find it cheesy, or was it kind of, I don't know, was it on the mark as what you expected it to be? in terms of like delivery and acting wise? What were you thinking?
I mean, I don't know the character
Yeah.
as much, so I don't know what he's like.
But did you get an idea of what the character is? Because like this very fucking overconfident, like he could fucking talk his way out of any situation.
Yeah.
That kind of person. Like you got that kind of idea from him, did you?
Yeah, well, I mean, he said confident that many times.
Yeah.
Confidence is something you can't teach people. I am confident, okay? I am confident because I walk in a room with confidence and I walk out of the room with confidence.
Yeah, he was a bit full of himself. Well, not full of himself. I didn't find it as believable as probably what it could be, but I guess if I had just watched a match and then I saw that, I'd be more into it. Or if I was getting hyped up for a match.
You're in the mindset.
Yeah,
To
watching
watch wrestling, yeah.
watching the promo by itself,
Yeah.
it was interesting from now I know what a promo is. But not knowing the context of the match and the storyline at the time, it was a bit harder to get into it.
It definitely doesn't have as much weight as it could have.
Yeah.
You know, if you're watching week to week and you're seeing the story progress in that sense.
I guess what I picked up more from that was like his really weird lines that he kept saying.
Read some out for us.
One that I remember, he goes, "I'm about to go platinum." Like, what does that mean?
I think he said his tongue was about to go platinum.
Well, just be aware that right now on this microphone, my mind and my mouth are about to go platinum.
So,
Yeah.
well, because he had a lot of musical references in that particular promo. So he was talking about, well, the way he was delivering it was more poetic, and you referenced it as kind of almost like being a rap.
Slam poetry
Yeah, and
rap.
and towards the end he mentions Tupac and all that kind of stuff, and so obviously influenced by rap and poetry and hip hop and all that stuff. But he as a character, he is very expressive. It's kind of hard to describe his promo style. It's very unique. It's a very unique. You won't see many people doing promos like that.
Okay.
But I wanted to show you this because it was a very great fucking promo in terms of delivery and in terms of intensity.
He did
and
have
all
a
that.
couple of really cool lines.
Yeah.
I really liked his line about Luke Skywalker.
Smack talker Skywalker.
Yeah, and then
That's a catchphrase of his, actually.
Yeah,
He's got quite a few catchphrases.
And then he mentions that he'll never go to the dark side. I think a line after.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a really cool
That was good.
parallel.
Yeah.
I think the one line that made me laugh the most was when he said, "He's a certified G, and I'm exactly me." I just lost it.
It's a good rhyme.
But I mean,
He's
you
got
did
it.
say that certified G is his catchphrase.
That is one of it.
So that does make sense.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny as well when there was this particular audience member that just kept yelling out, "You suck." When it went quiet, it was like...
Wait, I'm going to go over here.
It was just a little bit unimmersive.
You suck!
It was a little bit unimmersive from what he was trying to say, and took away from it a little bit. But I mean, it is a live audience thing, and bar that one dude, the audience was getting into it.
Yeah, they were.
And they were loving what he was saying.
Definitely reacting to what he was saying, obviously cheering a lot because it's a babyface. That's what's going to happen. A lot of times they'll either chant their name or they'll chant a particular catchphrase. Like they would at one point they were chanting "How you doing," which is another catchphrase that he's got. There's fucking tons of them.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
print fucking so many T-shirts with all those catchphrases.
Or he does mention the certified G.
He plugs his
merchandise.
He fucking plugs. So in one fucking promo, he's managed to plug his merch, further story, get the crowd involved. He's done everything that you could possibly do in a great babyface promo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did love how he said that it's the merchandise that puts food on his table.
It is. They get money for the merchandise that
Oh
they
yeah,
sell.
of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, aren't you a wrestler? Don't you get paid for that?
Well, it's an added bonus.
It's like surely
It pays for the salt on my steak.
yeah, surely
think of it that way.
Your merchandise isn't the sole source of your income.
No, you get a pretty nice paycheck every month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, it did fit well with his his promo, because, you know, he was you know, thanking his fans essentially.
Yeah, yeah. Did you find it like pandering, or did you think it was, you know, a good balance?
I think it did fit in with the theme of the promo, because he's like, you know, my lifelong friend just watched me and was a massive jerk, and then to parallel that with you're my fans have my back.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter about you, you're one guy. My fans are looking out for me. My fans like me, kind of thing, you know? It kind of made sense for that plug. I think it was just, you know, not related to this, and he was talking about, you know, beating someone up for no reason or something. I don't know what other promos are about. And he just said, you know, oh, by the way, guys, buy my merch. Like, it wouldn't fit.
Yeah,
and
no,
would become tacky.
He blended that in pretty well with the promo in terms
of
making that part of the story.
Mm.
So that was a babyface promo, Scott, but now it's time to show you the other side of the spectrum. Heel promo, baby.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And we're going way back to the year 2000.
Wow.
Do you remember 2000 much?
In the year 2000, I remember the Sydney Olympics.
Yes.
We're on, and I lived about, say, 20 minutes from where the Olympics were being hosted.
Yeah.
So my family decided it would be a great time to go to America on a holiday. And I remember watching the 2000 Olympics on TV in America.
Even though you lived
We could have
20 minutes.
Yeah.
We are looking at May 11, 2000 episode of SmackDown, and the McMahon-Helmsley regime has come out to run down the crowd, but Mr. McMahon has some particularly harsh words for everyone to hear.
Here we go. Now, I understand that there are a number of you. Here we go again. His own home state. I understand that there are a number of you. I understand that. I understand that some of you feel as though that the McMahon-Helmsley faction last Monday on Raw just wasn't fair to Chris Jericho. Well, it wasn't. Oh, listen to you. I understand that many of you feel as though since the McMahon-Helmsley faction made Chris Jericho compete on 3 different occasions, defending the Intercontinental title until he lost it, that it just wasn't fair. Is that what you think, Cole? That's right. Well, that's just too damned bad. Because if you don't think it was fair Monday, you're probably the same kind of people who wait in line. You'll wait forever in line, like sheep all lined up. You'll wait in line, waiting your turn, and then you'll see someone like myself very aggressively cut in the front of the line, and you'll say, wait a minute, that's not fair. And what about the parking lot? We've all been there. There you are, patiently waiting for your little parking space, and it suddenly appears. You start driving your car. Oh, someone zips in, cuts you off, parks their car, and you say, wait a minute, that's my parking space. That's not fair. Not fair, not fair. Will you stop? What about on those few occasions when you will honestly and objectively look into the full-length mirror? Oh, boy. All right, now we're getting somewhere. Oh, yeah. And you women look into the mirror, and you look at yourselves, and you say, look at the cellulite hanging from my hips and my buttocks. That's not fair. And you men won't even come close to the mirror. That's you, Michael. But on that occasion when you might just take a quick glimpse, you say, oh, that can't be me.
No, that can't be me with the pot belly and the small genitalia. Oh no, that's not fair.
It really is you, Michael.
And you look at yourselves. Go ahead. Look at yourselves. Look at the person sitting next to you. Yeah, look at him. Look at the person sitting in front of you. Go ahead. Look at all of you.
You bunch of pigs.
You look at yourselves and you compare yourselves to the beautiful people here in this ring and you say, that's not fair.
Look at these bunch of nutmegger pigs.
And forget about the looks. What about the money?
Oh, the money.
What about the money?
That's what it's all about. Not fair, huh,
You
Michael?
scrimp and you save. You work yourselves half to death, and still you can't afford what you really want.
Guess
That's
what?
not fair. It's not fair that some people are rich and you're not. That's not fair. And you know, you have to face the facts. That the vast majority of you are just born with inferior DNA.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
You say, it's not fair I'm born with inferior DNA. But you feel sorry for yourselves, you wallow in your self-pity, and then you have to face the facts that life is not fair.
I like Stephanie's DNA.
And some of you, a select few, you might as well go ahead and admit it. You might as well own up to the philosophy for some of you, and that is that life sucks, and then you die.
You know what, King? What? Life does suck when you work for the World Wrestling Federation and the Dan Helsley regime is running things. Oh, that's so.
And we're back again. Scott, thoughts?
Well, I mean, you haven't told me who this McMahon is.
Yes.
Who this character is. But before you do, I'm assuming that McMahon is a fictional character, as with the wrestlers. They have their own character. So they make up their name. McMahon as a name. That makes... Oh.
I just showed Scott how McMahon is spelt in my notes.
It's a real no, but like McMahon, like they just have the boat in Sydney called
Yeah.
Boaty McBoatface.
Oh, is that what you were thinking?
And like Trainy McTrainface, like
Yeah.
McMahon
McMahon.
is like the laziest name, but that yeah.
A McDouble cheeseburger
Yes.
has come out to cut a promo.
Yeah, okay. That's my mistake.
Yeah.
Well, now that that's sorted out, he's not some stupid made up name that's
No,
really
that-
lazy.
that is his real name.
That is his real name.
Vince McMahon is his real name.
Really?
Yeah, Vince McMahon. Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Oh, wow. What a name.
He is the CEO and owner of the World Wrestling Federation. Or, as it's known now, World Wrestling Entertainment.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, so back then it was known as the WWF, before the World Wildlife Fund fucked WWE in the arse and took that name from them.
Yep.
They had to rebrand. But back to subject matter, McMahon is cutting a heel promo on the audience and basically just running them down for no reason whatsoever other than to piss them off.
So, he's the owner of... Well, not CEO
yeah.
of wrestling. Why...
Not
Why-
of wrestling, of this particular company.
This particular company, the
Yeah.
biggest wrestling corporation,
Yes.
why is he being a piece of shit to his fans? That makes... Well, not his... They're obviously
So-
not fans of his, but they're in the stadium giving him money.
That is kind of a logic flaw with heel authority figures. Because in wrestling, there's a lot of heel authority figures.
Yeah.
The often cliche is that everyone has like a bad boss.
Ah,
A
yeah.
boss who's a prick. What's the best way to get fucking heat off an audience?
Yeah.
Have a boss who's a fucking dick. And he's
Yeah.
an asshole and he like punishes you. What an awful, awful person. Straight away, you've already got heat.
Yeah,
You know.
okay. So I guess this guy, everyone doesn't like him before this.
Who likes their boss?
Yeah. Well,
know?
no one likes this guy before the promo because he ran down the champion until the champion lost.
Yeah, he is referencing that I treated this person unfairly and there's nothing you can do about it because I'm the boss and we're in charge here.
Yeah.
So basically, he was in the ring cutting a promo with the rest of the McMahon-Helmsley regime, which is basically a faction of people. So this was a running storyline at the time, where this big group got together and basically they've got McMahon, who's in their back pocket, a bias towards them and helping them out and further their careers. So this faction has kind of joined forces and so they're basically getting hit in this promo in the ring and basically running down the fans.
So McMahon, he's essentially rigging the
Not rigging,
WWF.
but he is showing a bias towards these people he is aligned with.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yes, yeah. So more in that sense.
Yeah, he's pretty brutal
Brutally
towards
honest.
the fans.
Brutally honest.
Like,
Like scarily honest.
he's
You
saying
know, like-
life isn't fair. I don't know.
Yeah,
how-
so the main theme was that life isn't fair, and he kept reiterating that the amount of times he kept saying
Oh, yeah.
that's not fair. Like he kept imitating the audience.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, at the start, some of the things he was saying were like, you'll be waiting in line and someone will cut in and you say that's not fair.
I
well,
love that. That's brilliant.
I know it's
Brilliant
brilliant,
storytelling because it's like the audience can already relate.
but if someone cuts in front of me,
Yeah.
I won't take that shit, man.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you've been waiting for a long time, you'll say, mate, I've been waiting here. You need to go to the back of the line.
But Mr. McMahon cut in front of you, and he's rich.
So, he's a piece of shit.
Too
I'm
bad.
not taking shit from anyone.
He'll sue you.
He'll sue
Defamation.
me for cutting in front of him. The parking thing, that's
Yeah.
just being a dick. That's not about being fair.
Yeah.
If you cut in front, you're a jerk.
That's the theme of the promo. He's got you.
Yeah.
He's working you.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But then after that, he's like, he just starts getting personal, almost.
Yeah, what was he saying?
Well, he's just saying, like, we're rich. You don't have any money.
What about the money?
Oh, yeah. He says, look in the mirror. You have cellulite and you'll look at yourself. Oh, that's not fair.
And I
then-
love it because it cuts to one of the other members in the group, and she's like this skinny
Oh,
model.
yeah.
It cuts to Tori, who's just like checking her ass and like, there's no fat here.
he's
So that
talking
was
to
like
her.
perfect direction. Whoever's like controlling the camera work there,
Yep.
that was great.
And then, like, he starts going on about, well, the thing is, look at the guy to the left of you, behind you. You have inferior DNA. It's like, what? What? Why are you getting into this? I mean, he's just talking himself up. And just the closing was amazing.
God.
It's just, and the more you live life, you figure it out. Life sucks, and then you die. It's just like, what? Okay.
Man, like there's so many moments in life where I think of like that quote.
Yeah.
Every time something bad happens to me,
Yeah.
it's so sad. I think of that quote. Well,
Yeah.
Julian, life sucks and then you die.
Yeah, shit.
That is, like this promo, it's like often like wrestling fans will hold this promo up to a really like put it on a pedestal, and rightfully so because it is a fantastic promo because it's so quotable as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's so just relatable. Like, he's talking about real life scenarios, and he's also, towards the end, he's basically like, yeah, life isn't fair. Life sucks, and then you die.
Yeah.
Like, what a powerful statement.
Yeah, well...
Like, harsh truth, to almost. If you
Yeah.
want to look at it bleakly like that.
Yeah. I mean... it's very true.
Yeah.
But...
From a very, like, pessimistic point of view, it's true. But
Yeah.
from a, an optimistic point of view, you wouldn't share those views, obviously.
Yeah. I think if it was in any other context
Yeah.
that wasn't wrestling, you would, you'd have people really annoyed. I mean, you're watching, WWE, that previously F,
Yeah.
and you know that it's a fictional
Yeah.
world, essentially. So they can get away with shit like this. If you saw on the news Mark Zuckerberg
Yeah.
going, you know what? I have all your information. I can do with it whatever the fuck I want.
Oh, man.
You are sucked in to my world. You can't go without Facebook for more than 10 minutes. I'm rich. I can do whatever the fuck I want. He would get so much heat. Right?
It's basically an internet troll.
Yeah, like, you could never, you'd never hear the end of it.
Yeah.
Or any other big figure. I mean, probably one of the closest real life examples to Vincent McMahon is, in fact, Donald Trump.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Like, Donald Trump, he says whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He says outlandish things and he gets shit for it.
It is kind of like the turned up version of Donald Trump, if that were possible.
Yeah.
But it is obviously art imitating life in some ways, because it's, who you always kind of imagine, this, tyrannical boss who's like, punishing people and, being a real fucking asshole. Like an awful human being as well. Not just a bad boss, just like an awful human being. Like despicable. Like there's no redeeming qualities. And you get that. It comes across so well when he's delivering that promo. And like straight away, did you get his character? Straight away, you understood it. It's like, he is a prick boss. He is an evil human being, basically.
He grew up with a small loan of $1 million and doesn't give a shit about anyone except for himself.
Well, actually, to tell a bit of a story on Vince McMahon, he actually grew up a little bit less fortunate. Like, he grew up in a trailer park.
Yeah.
So he grew up less fortunate. He worked for his fucking money.
Yeah,
he had a father who ran the WWF, which was the original World Wrestling Entertainment, or what it is today. He ran that, and he took over that business later on in the 80s. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he kind of rags to riches sort of story for Vince McMahon. So it is kind of a Donald Trump story, but I think most people understand that no, Vince worked his way to the top in terms of building a business and building an empire, essentially.
So he actually is the boss.
Yes, he is. He is actually the chairman of the board.
Yeah, wow.
Yes.
So the chairman of the board actually does promos.
Yes, he is a character on television, and probably one of the greatest characters in wrestling ever.
Yeah.
I cannot fucking wait to show you Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Because Jesus, there's so much great. We could have a whole series on it.
Yeah.
The amount of great stuff. He's had wrestling matches. He's not a wrestler. He isn't a wrestler. Yeah. He's a 50-something-year-old man. He's having matches.
Wow. Well,
and they're good.
Well, I mean, after seeing that, I am very much looking forward to seeing more of
very soon. I think
Vince
we will
McMahon.
Have to. Because I think there is one rivalry I really want to talk about. Because it was him and it was somebody else that I'm not going to mention now, but we are going to get into it maybe in a few episodes down the line, or maybe next episode, who knows. But I think we'll definitely talk about that particular rivalry that made that character so perfect.
A rivalry with a wrestler?
A rivalry with a wrestler. So imagine a tyrannical boss fighting with one of his employees.
Oh, what a story.
That is good.
So the story would be that, Vince McMahon is doing everything within his power to make this wrestler quit.
Make his life a living hell almost.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Yeah, okay.
And as evidenced by how great that rivalry was, this promo started off with him saying just 2 fucking words, and the crowd is already chanting "asshole" at him.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Now, I understand that there are a number of you. Here we go again. His own home state. I understand that there are a number of you.
Amazing.
I understand that.
Amazing. I love this promo, and I always go back and watch it because it's just it's an awesome promo, and it's honestly, if you are a wrestler listening to this, which probably wouldn't be likely, but if you are one and you want to get some inspiration in terms of how to get heel heat, God, Vince McMahon promos, he is one to look at, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's going to do it for this episode of Wrestless Radio. Scott, did you enjoy learning about wrestling promos?
Yeah, it was very different to what I expected, and we saw 2 very different promos from one another, but I kind of got a pretty good idea of what constitutes a promo and the reason for a promo. So I'd say this episode has been pretty entertaining.
Yeah, did you... Because I think one thing I wanted to do with this episode was kind of show you both sides of the coin in terms of different promo styles. There's tons of promos I could have shown you.
Yeah.
I specifically chose these ones because it was, a good kind of balance between both styles in terms of interacting with an audience and the different ways you can deliver a promo. But that's going to do it for this episode. Just to let you know, this audio podcast is available on multiple platforms, like our YouTube channel that we just created. There will be a link in the description to that. We are also on Facebook at facebook.com/Wrestless Radio.
You'll also find us on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/Wrestless Radio. Additionally, we've got a Twitter account at Wrestless Radio, so please do follow us. Julian will be active on there, maybe a little bit of me if I can think of anything. So feel free to keep in touch with us, give us suggestions, questions, anything you want us to talk about in future episodes, please hit us up.
And please don't forget to give this episode a rating, review, a like, a comment, or whatever your heart desires. It is all appreciated. That's going to do it for us. Thanks once again for listening. I've been Julian.
I'm Scott.
And we'll see you next time on Wrestless Radio.
Life sucks, and then you die.